The world is a dangerous place, and Florida needs responsible citizens prepared to stand in the breach and take action when necessary. To qualify to stand in the breach, a person must be armed with the proper tools, have the appropriate legal knowledge, spend the time on the range, and perform mental rehearsal drills ready for when the action is needed. This video is foundational to everything we do on this channel. It's about citizenship, personal responsibility, and understanding the laws that govern your rights here in Florida. With Florida converting to a permitless carry state, the number one question we have to answer is, should I still get a concealed carry permit? Why is it necessary if Florida is a permitless carry state now? Permitless carry sounds easy, but it's actually a legal minefield. In order to carry lawfully without a permit, you still have to satisfy all the same basic requirements that a person who gets a concealed carry permit has to satisfy. If any of those requirements aren't met, even if it's something buried way deep in your past, you're not exercising your Second Amendment right, you're committing a felony. Let's be clear. The police do not have the legal authority to pull everybody over and just ask them random questions about a firearm or permitless carry. But if you're pulled over by the police and you're carrying your firearm and it becomes an issue, the officer is going to investigate whether you meet the criteria for permitless carry. These laws are complex. While you're detained, you are subject to that officer's interpretation of the law, even if he gets it wrong. Remember, probable cause is a very low standard. In other videos, I've attributed that to about a 25% degree of certainty. So the officer could be wrong 75% of the time and the arrest still be lawful. Now, it's not a one-for-one to think about it like that. It's an abstraction for sure, but it's certainly worth consideration. That's one of the major benefits of getting a concealed carry permit. You can think about it like TSA pre-check. By having that card in your hand, the officer knows that you satisfy all the criteria. If that status changes and the government finds something that disqualifies you, you'll be notified by mail. You can address it then, but you're not subject to the officer's discretion roadside. There's several other benefits to having a concealed carry permit, but they don't require such explanation. For those of you who choose not to get a concealed carry permit, you should know this. Florida State Statute 790.25 allows a person to carry a firearm securely encased in the vehicle. You don't have to meet any of those requirements that we previously discussed. Just the basics: not a convicted felon, no domestic violence convictions, no active injunctions, the norms. By carrying your firearm securely encased, you're not subjecting yourself to the investigation or the officer's interpretation of the newly formed and complicated law. We know the risk of being pulled over and the firearm becoming an issue with law enforcement is very low, but having your firearm securely encased is much better if you run into that risk. But there's a trade-off. If you're going to be removing your firearm from your hip and placing it securely encased back and forth every day or multiple times per day, you're exposing yourself to the most dangerous situation for accidental discharge, holstering and unholstering. So you need to make sure that you've thought through this step-by-step process and you get a routine down that does not involve the holstering or unholstering of the firearm when you go from on your person to securely encased. That's one of the things that you need to do as a responsible gun owner. Here's a question for you. What about gun magnets? Is your belief that they are tactically sound and illegal, tactically sound and legal, not tactical but legal, not tactical and illegal? Link down in the description. There are 4 pillars to prepare yourself to stand in the breach. The first is proper equipment. I'm not here to tell you what brand of holster or firearm to buy. I'm here to stress the importance that responsible citizens prepared to stand in the breach have the proper equipment for that job, have maintained it, and are prepared to use it to protect their family, themselves, and the community. The second pillar is legal knowledge. Florida prides itself in being a pro-gun state. But make no mistake about it, Florida's gun laws are complex and the penalties are harsh. Carry in the wrong place, misuse force, or store your firearm improperly, you might not only be facing losing your rights, you also might result in criminal charges. Responsible citizens keep up with the law in the same way they keep up with their skills. The third pillar is range time. Firearm skill is not built all at once, it's developed over time. Going to the range creates muscle memories, builds confidence, and ensures that if you ever have to act, You're not relying on luck. Police officers are required to qualify twice per year. That seems like a pretty good standard. If you've already received substantial firearms training, just pick up the course. Twice per year, go to the range. If you haven't received substantial firearms training, sign up for a week-long course for firearms familiarization, and from that point forward, pick up the twice per year standard. The fourth pillar is mental visualization and scenario-based templating. This is the most overlooked responsibility, and it can be done at your house. If you're going to stand in the breach, you're going to have to do mental rehearsals for high-risk situations like robberies, carjacking, domestic violence, active shooter. There is a decision tree that you're going to have to process through to determine whether you're going to engage. If you're going to engage, are you going to draw your firearm? What are you going to say? What are the alternatives? When should you de-escalate? When should you reholster? If you have to shoot, what's your next steps? Mental rehearsal prepares you for the moments you pray never come. Standing in the breach is more than just carrying a firearm. It's a commitment to being the type of citizen that Florida needs: disciplined, prepared, and lawful. If you want proof of how unforgiving Florida law can be, check out this video that I made on THC gummy bears and firearms. It's a felony. Let's continue the conversation. Hit it hard.